Our revenge will be to survive.
Throughout this class, we've seen a lot of ways film and society and history coincide and overlap each other. We saw in the movie Casablanca, a famous movie, but wrapped very much within the middle of World War II, as an agenda of the United States to be able to push certain values. We think of that as something maybe that happened in the past, something that happened during times of conflict like that in World War II, or Vietnam War, or after Vietnam War with New Hollywood and Harold and Maude and so forth. But the movie came out in 2016 that also shows a similar thing happening and sort of combined together with sites like imdb.com, where people check to see what movie to watch or not watch based on ratings. And that movie is called The Promise. The Promise came out in 2016 that deals with a story also largely dropped from history books. Many people who are seeing this video may not have understood the fact that in 1915 to 1922, a new word was created, and that word was genocide. Genocide was a word created after and talking about what was happening in the middle of the Ottoman Empire with a systematic wiping out of the Armenians in the middle of Constantinople and throughout the Ottoman Empire. Armenia, largely made up of Christians, 1.5 million were systematically killed in that time period between 1915 and 1922 by this Ottoman Empire. Ottoman Empire today is largely Turkey. So even to this day, it is against the law in Turkey to talk about an Armenian genocide. They still say it didn't happen. It very much did happen. 1.5 million people were killed, perhaps more, and it's a story that has been suppressed. It's a story that has been fought to not be talked about, and largely successfully. Even this movie that came out was not going to happen without the personal financing of the previous president of MGM Studios, Kurt Kerkorian, where he spent over $100 million of his own money before taxes to have this movie made. He died before the release of it. He died in 2015. Which is 100 years after the start of their Armenian genocide, and he comes from Armenian descent. But even distributing was a problem, because distributors of movies are connected globally, and many of them deal with Turkey, and so a lot of them couldn't create this movie, could not distribute this movie with fear that they would lose their contracts with Turkey. In 2002, another movie, Ariat, came out that talked about a film crew trying to make a film about the Armenian genocide in Canada. That was what the movie was about. And even that movie, their distributor was Disney. And they were heavily under attack from Turkey and other places that are denying that this happened, this event happened. And they lost a lot of contracts because of that movie in 2002. Because of that memory of that, in 2016 when The Promise came out, a similar thing happened where no one would touch it, no one would come out. So you might not have heard this movie. In fact, I was very surprised because I was on Netflix looking to watch the movie, and I saw that there was a movie about the Armenian genocide. We sat to watch it, had a 5-star Netflix review, but I saw on IMDb it had a 6. You never see a 5-star rating with a 6 or a 5-star rating on IMDb, and I was very curious about that. As I went to watch this movie, I was blown away that it was a beautiful love story. Well, to come to find out, and with such a low rating on IMDb, in many ways it's been successfully suppressed. Before the film came out, before it was shown anywhere, except maybe, I think in Toronto it was shown at a film festival to maybe 1,000 people at most. Before the film was released, there were 120,000 reviews for this movie, of over 61,000 reviews giving it a 1-star, saying it was absolute crap, hoax, and horrible. And they were able to link that through IMDb to Turkey. But also, there were 59,000 reviews linking that it was a 10-star review, that it was the best movie ever made, and they were able to link a lot of those reviews to Armenia. So they're using, as a political tool, IMDb to both suppress and also try to fight against that suppression through a user review page like IMDb to stop people from watching it and trying to get people to watch it. through these reviews. So before the movie came out, 120,000 IMDb ratings. There was actually more ratings of a movie for The Promise before it was released than the top grossing film of the year of 2016. So you could see the political tension, the political turmoil, even from an event 100 years ago, that still, because of that history, because of the power of understanding of the past, of being suppressed through film, through history, and through making it even illegal to talk about it or to call it genocide in a country, that happened. And we know that it happened. The pictures are out there. In fact, a lot of the imagery in the movie, when they showed certain events happening, are based on real photographs. So the main actors that Christian Bale and Charlotte Le Bon and Oscar Isaac play are fictitious, but everything else around it and a lot of the dialogue around it is true. It's based on letters that have been found and photographs that have been found and articles that were written about. So it's a fascinating film to show how even today film and movies are a great tool to get people's awareness of events even from 100 years ago, but how it's also a tool to try to suppress that understanding of the past and that education of what happened. So it's a movie I recommend. This is a trailer I'm going to show you about this film. If you might choose to write your last paper on this, and it might be something, it could tie very much to how politics and war and the film industry and trying to get the audience to be swayed one way or the other all fits in very nicely with this movie, The Promise.
Tell me about Constantinople.
It can be magical. In the Grand Bazaar, you could buy the finest fashions from Paris and London, the latest automobiles from America. It can be horrible, too, just like any great city.
Were you happy there?
It was a different life.
A toast to old friends and new.
Christopher Myers.
Chris is a star reporter for the Associated Press.
May I introduce Mademoiselle Annika Sari?
You're going to become a doctor.
I hear a French accent.
I lived in Paris for many years, but I'm a proud Armenian. Mikhail, you make me feel I've come home.
These Germans want your sultan to declare
Holy war.
Oh my God, what was that?
It's very dangerous for Armenians right now.
This is our opportunity. We will restore the great Ottoman Empire.
We cannot be here. We must leave.
What is the Associated Press doing here, Mr. Myers?
Reporting on the war.
There is no war here. Merely the evacuation of the civilian population to a safer region.
You are using this so-called relocation as a cover.
You trust no one. I have to get us out of here before there's no time left.
He wants us to help his family escape. We have to help them.
I'm a witness to history. How wonderful it must be to go back to the comfort of your American home and write about it.
We will make a stand, but we'll fight them from every rock.
Our revenge will be to survive.